Hi everybody, welcome to idcreatures.com. My name is Carla and I'll be explaining a little bit about drawing cars in side view. And this video is, just so you know, it's probably twice as fast as what it took me to actually draw this. So in total it took me around 12 minutes and this is going to be, I think, almost 6 minutes, okay? So the way I start sketching is I sketch the wheels, the length of the car. I decide how long it's going to be, and that tells me how many wheels I have to draw between the two wheels that you see on the side. So I have 2.5 wheels of separation, and that's because it's a sports car, okay? And in the front I have somewhere around a little bit more than half of another wheel in the front, and then the back is around the same, but the back should always be a little bit longer than the front of the car, and you're going to see that in a second. By the way, I'm sketching with an AD marker. It's a Chartpak, I think it's called, the brand, and it's the gray scale. It's cool gray, okay? So I use cool gray instead of warm, because warm is a little bit more like a brownish color, and I prefer this one, okay? Here I'm drawing the interior a little bit, and you should always draw that just to give an idea of where it is, but not with a lot of detail. And here I'm drawing the back part of the car, and as you can see, I told you before how it's a little bit bigger than the front, and it should always be, oh, well, not always, but I guess for most cars it's always higher than the front of the car. Okay? Always draw a shadow on the ground, because if you don't, the car just looks like it's floating somewhere. Okay? And also notice how I drew another wheel in the front to mark the height of the car. And here I drew it one wheel high, but you could also draw it maybe half, or it depends on the model of the car, obviously, or how you're just like sketching it, but it should always be around half of another wheel high or up to one wheel, okay? So here what I'm doing is I'm just adding the really dark areas first. I always go from light to dark, but in this case I decide to go straight to the dark color because I know that those areas are definitely going to be dark, so it doesn't really matter there to go from light to dark. And this sketch is really just rough, so whenever you do a rough sketch, just try not to take too much time. And if I go from light to dark, it takes me much longer because I keep filling in with darker grays and darker grays. So this way I force myself to pick the shadows really quickly and just decide where it's gonna be dark. I did the window with a really dark gray there because usually you have some kind of rubber that goes around the glass, so that's why you can see that I did that. I'm drawing the front there. By the way, like I told you before, I use the cool gray scale, and I use, most of the times I use the number 1 and then 3, 5, and 7. Okay, so I don't use 2, 4, 6 just because they're very similar, and again it's just something that makes me sketch faster, not to use all the numbers. So I have to, like I said, pick where my shadows are going to be a lot faster, so it's kind of like forcing myself to see the shadows and not just fill in until I see them. So here I drew the door, and this helps a lot defining the shape of the car. It's kind of like a section line, so you can take advantage of that. In this case it was something really simple, just a straight line, but when you have complicated surfaces there, then you can just make that sort of like a section line, and then that helps you with the shape. I'm adding blue there just because it was the color that I had in front of me for the light, and it's what I use for the windows also, so it just works that it looks like, it makes sense to have the same color, even though that light is not going to be blue, but just for sketching purposes it looks okay. That line I drew there is kind of like a reflection of the environment. It's the core. So I'm doing the reflection here of again, the environment maybe. And you can see how you can see a little bit of the interior but not too much. It's just to give people the idea of, you know, there's something in there but you can't really tell the shape or anything. Okay, just adding a little bit of detail there in the wheels but not too much. So basically this is all that I wanted to show you. I hope you like this tutorial. You subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit idcreatures.com to give me more ideas of what you want to see here and stuff you want to learn, okay? So I did a background there just to make the sketch pop out of the page a bit more. Also blue, because you know that's the color I was using before. So anyway, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you like it and keep watching idcreatures.com. Thanks.